Hey guys, what's good? I am Rosemary. In today's topic, we'll be discussing teens ignoring their parents while sending naked pictures and having sex at a very tender age. What would you do if you knew that your child is presently having sex at this very moment? So, let's get into this one. In the upcoming topics, our theme is Christmas. So we're going to have a Christmas variety show coming up for you guys, a Christmas parade coming up for you guys, and some other Christmas activities for you guys to sit down and watch the show and enjoy your holidays during this Christmas season. So let's get into this one. So while we are on the job working hard trying to provide for our family and our kids and make sure that our kids have the best whenever it comes to education and every other thing that they may need, our kids are finding ways to make extra money or just to have sex with boys or men. Many times we use the phone to get in contact with our child, to make sure that they are home, to make sure that they are doing their homework, to make sure that they are doing the things that we require of them, meaning to follow the guidelines just as if we were there present with them. But these child predators are also out there getting our children's phone number and getting in contact with them and having them doing things to which we as parents would not allow our kids to do, such as having sex or sending a naked video or a naked picture to an older male. Many times our kids are being raped and abused and they don't say anything about it, or we are not aware of it. And even whenever we become aware of it, many times it is hard for us as parents or for the child to prove that XYZ had sex with them. Or sometimes they don't even want to take the person to court because then they're in love with them and that person has convinced them that they are their soulmates and that they're going to be together forever. So it becomes even more difficult for us to gain control of our kids and to win a case such as this. Such as sending naked pictures, having sex with young teens or older men, having their private parts being exposed on a medium like this, on other websites, And then the sad situation about it is that these predators, we don't see their faces. All we see is their genitals. And for our kids, you can view their whole body. Face, you know which child it is. You know if it's a girl, you know if they are naked. You see every single inch of them, including their private area. You understand? But for these predators, you don't see much of them. You don't know who they are. So the reason why I feel so close or so touched and so hurt and so moved by this is because then most of the time, I'm not saying that, sometimes the kids sometimes they don't know what they're getting into. Sometimes they do and they still go ahead with it for whatever their reasons may be. But I am touched by this because I don't see it fair for, or see it right. It's not fair. I don't see it right for a man or for someone who is 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 having sex. It's not right. I believe, and it is also said, that young girls aren't supposed to be having sex until they're 18. But more and more, we continuously to see young girls having sex. We either see it in pornography, homemade pornography. We either see them sending naked pictures on Facebook, YouTube, chat groups. And in the longer run, they're just being degraded, you know? And it's not right. It's not right at all. So what can we do to prevent this? I know that there are laws in every country, and this is happening not only here in my country, but this is happening worldwide and continues to happen over and over every time, every year, and not much is being done. Most of the time, the guys, they either get a slap on the wrist with a small charge or a little fine. You know, they go to jail maybe for a year or two, and then that's about it. That's the end of the case. Sometimes the case doesn't even make it to court. Many of our young girls, they're becoming pregnant, becoming mothers themselves, not knowing how to take care of a baby. So then, what is the world coming to? Then how are they going to teach their daughters to not follow in the same footsteps that they're in? Many of us as parents, or many of us have been molested at one point or another in our life. Many of us also keep it quiet, you know, or even if we said something, sometimes our parents do not believe us, or if they believe us in the beginning, whenever it's time to confront the person, how do you call them? The person who inflicted, or the predator, the molester, whenever it comes time for the parent and the child to confront the molester, sometimes the parent doesn't even believe the child in the end. In the end, they end up believing the molester. And then, what is a child to do? What is a child to do? When the one person to whom they're supposed to depend on and trust to have their best interest at heart does not have that interest, sides with either the man that they're with or whoever the person may be. Because molesters aren't only people from the outside. Molesters are also in the home, present with your child. So it's an ordinary man or it's an ordinary woman, depending on which case it might be. So what do you do then? What does the child do? How does the child get support? How does the child alleviate or create a conviction when the parent does not believe what the child is telling them? How do you move on from there? And whenever that child becomes into an adult, how does that child deal with that situation? Because even though that there are counselors and other avenues and places that you can go, most of the time, many people do not access them. Most of the time, these rapes, these sexual assaults, and these naked pictures and pornography that we see on the net, they don't go any farther than exactly what we see. Parents don't know about it, for the child or the case isn't being dealt with to a standard or level that is appropriate, in which you get a conviction. Somewhere along the line, the red tape is just, there's so much red tape just to stop at every angle. And I'm talking about this because I believe that that needs to be changed. I believe that our kids need to be protected, both male and female. They have a right to be a child, to grow up before they know what sex is. Or even if they know what sex is, before they can actually, how do you say, experience it. That's my own personal belief. And I believe that that's a belief of many of you too. So, my question to you guys is, how do we make the system better? How do we move past the red tapes and see that these predators do not harm our kids anymore, or live to harm our kids' kids, our children's children? How do we stop it? I would like your thoughts and your views on this. So, help me to put predators in their proper place. It's not an easy thing because as kids or as young adults, many times we are afraid of them and we don't want to press charges because we fear for ourselves and our life as well. So, what are your views on this, guys? So, let's open the dialogue. From as young as she is to as old as I am. Let us start to discuss with our kids from a young age what sex is, what they are allowed to do, and what no one should allow, or what they should not allow anyone to do to them. So let's fight this together, because this is not just my issue, it's all of our issues, because they're not just having sex with girls, but they're also having sex with boys, young boys, and our young girls. And also, let's open the dialogue with our government and our government's official, so that they know as a people where we stand, because we are the ones that carry our government. Without us, there isn't any government. So let's let them know where we stand and what we want done with this situation. As a parent, I know that many times we have discussion with our kids about these situations, about predators and how they're supposed to behave in the situation if they're ever approached or asked to have sex. We have had these discussions with our kids, but for whatever reason, like my husband was showing me a couple months ago, and I can't really remember the name of the guy show, but the show was about kids who their parents have sat down and talked to them that they shouldn't go with strangers, they shouldn't talk to strangers on the net, and these between the ages of 12 to 14 years old, probably a little bit older, like he sets up a fake account and then he gets in contact with the child, they start chatting on whatever medium, and then from there he sets up a meet where the child gets to meet him, either be at the park or at a home, and then the parent is present to see if their child is going to show up or not, even though they have had these discussions with them. Some of the children, well, they either are taken in a vehicle or in the park or in a stranger's house, and they just go. because for whatever reason these kids believe that they already don't know this person. They had the discussion, you know, they talked, they introduced themselves, say what they like, and but it's an older guy that they're speaking to. They're not, because the guy profile that he sets up, it's about he set up a child profile to match with the age of the same children within the same age range. But these kids, they don't know that it's an adult. And then whenever the parent see their child or their parent are involved in the kidnapping of their own children, then just to show the child that, you know, these things are serious. It's the same thing whenever it comes to our young kids having sex at a very young age. So it's the same thing. We talk about it, we advise them, we think that our kids know what they're supposed to do, but when push comes to shove and they're being tested, they don't know. So we need to keep the dialogue open. So we need to keep the dialogue open, just as if though we are training a little baby, like a 1-year-old. How every day we keep on repeating the same thing. Every time they make the same mistakes or they do something that they're not supposed to do, we are right there saying, no, don't do that. No, that's not the way it's supposed to be done. No, don't put that in your mouth. You know, we are right there. So that's the same thing we're supposed to do for our young teenagers, because for whatever reason they're acting like a little child. So we need to teach them, guide them, and help to mature them until they understand what we're saying and what we mean, and they practice the right thing. So I hope you guys understand where I'm coming from with this, and thanks for lending me your ear and listening, lending me your ear and your eyes and listening, or lending me your eyes and your ears